Hey everybody, just wanted to do a quick build guide here of the Huntress build I'm currently running in the in-game. So I'm running T15 maps with this build and it pretty much deletes everything. Galvanic Shards is great, you don't really have to think about it too much until you get to like a boss or maybe like a pinnacle boss or something like that. You gotta kinda switch it up, but for the most part you're just running around shooting everything with Galvanic Shards, clearing the way and moving on. The only thing is I found that this build can be a little bit squishy against like super powerful rare or boss attacks. So if you're having that problem like I am, you might want to look into some evasion, and we'll kind of go over that when we look at the skill tree here in just a moment. But for right now, I just want to show the character stats and show you kind of where I'm at to give you a baseline of where I'm at. So we have pretty good evasion, and we do want to get that higher, and we're going to work towards that. But our resistances are really well, minus cold and chaos. They could both be higher, but I mean it's doing pretty well for what it is. So go ahead and pause if you need to on all the stats if you need to see something specific, or if you're like you want to just see where the build's at or where I'm currently at this point. All right, so now we'll get into the skills. And so like I said, basically what you're going to do in the maps is you're going to go in and you're going to blast everything with Galvanic Shards. Almost everything, including the rares, you're just going to go in. Galvanic Shards is going to delete everything. In the rare instance that you need to shock maybe a rare or like a boss, if they're heavily armored, if that's on your map roll or whatever, you'll hit them with the Voltaic Mark. You'll shoot them with Galvanic Shards, and then you'll switch to Shockburst, and it basically just melts them. And that's kind of the play style. You can throw down your artillery ballistas if you need help. With the rage, will help you a little bit, and they also they'll absorb some attacks. Enemies will target them, so it can help in that instance as well. But it's not necessary, right? But it does help. But to get into the skills here, we're running Galvanic Shards with Martial Tempo, Primal Armament, Fork, Bullseye, and Ammo Conservation. With our Shockburst rounds, we have Lightning Infusion, Concentrated Effect, Elemental Focus, and Close Combat. For our Artillery Ballistas, we're doing Overabundance, Fire Infusion, Font of Rage, and Culling Strike. For Voltaic Mark, we're running Persistence, Wind Dancer with Blind, Maim, and Pin, Herald of Thunder with Magnified Effect, Innervate, Long Shot, and Execute, and then Overwhelming Presence with Precision. So this is basically, I mean, if you can't tell, this is all lightning based, right? And Herald of Thunder is really going to help us as well with that clear as it gets active. It just kind of rains thunder or rains the lightning down, gives us a big boost in our damage and everything like that. Now to get into the gear, with your crossbow, you're really going to want to focus on the physical damage. You want as much physical damage as you can get. You also want crit hit chance on your bow. If you don't have crit hit chance on your bow, you shouldn't probably be running this, because we are also focusing on the critical damage. So we want critical hit chance and critical damage bonuses wherever we can get them within the skill tree as well. But you want to focus on the physical damage. This one has lightning, plus the projectile skill, strength, and mana. The mana is not necessary at all. It's just, unfortunately, that's just what rolled on it. The strength is really helping us. If you can get strength and dexterity on a few different pieces as well, it helps, because certain things, especially like, which one is it? Voltaic Mark requires 164 dex. So you need some good amount of dexterity in order to use some of these items. Or some of these skills and some of the gear pieces. So as you're moving through the skill tree, you might have to switch between strength and dexterity in the nodes. You just have to play with it to make it all work. So if you can get a few little boosts in your gear, that's fine. And then for our helmet, we're running the Desert Cap with Evasion, Max Life, max mana, crit hit chance, dexterity, and lightning resistance. So what you're going to want on your gear is evasion, evasion, evasion. You want as much evasion as you can get. You want as much max life as you can get. And you want crit hit chance or crit hit damage bonuses if you can get them. And then you want your resistances, right? So that way your lightning, your fire, all of those resistances are real high. On your amulet, I'm running the Lapis amulet. This probably isn't the best one because we're putting it into intelligence. right? And increased spell damage. That's not really what we want. And armor. So it's like, you know, we have a lot of things in there that we don't want. I don't really know what I'd switch it out for yet, but if you have a better amulet than this that's more focused on like evasion and crit hit chance and resistances, that's probably going to be your best bet. But this is just what I'm running, and it's working really well right now. But again, you know, we got our evasion rating, we got our crit hit chance, we're adding some dexterity, and we got resistances. So we got the things that we're looking for. There's probably a better option out there. If you can find one, run it. It's going to be better than what this is. For our rings, we're running the amethyst rings. I'm running them on both sides. A lot of physical damage. Again, we want as much physical damage as we can get. This is adding fire damage to the attack. Not great, but we got accuracy in there, cold resistance, lightning resistances, and we also want leech. So these rings are great because they're leeching. As you're attacking, you're leeching life, which is helping with our survivability. With the modifier, you know, the quality life modifiers, I went with life to increase that leech. It helps me survive a lot better, and that's on both sides. So I did that on both sides to get that. This one, again, is max life, accuracy, physical damage. It's adding to intelligence, so, you know, it's okay. We're running the worm scale coat. Again, evasion, 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 max life, dexterity, lightning resistance. We're kind of just repeating, right? But these are the things that you're going to want on there. For our gloves, we're running the barb bracers. Again, evasion, max life. The reduced attribute requirements, not necessary really, but I mean it does help in some areas, especially as like maybe you're leveling and you need to get a little bit of a like a reprieve, right? If you don't have the right stats, this can kind of help you there. And then again, leeching physical attacks as life. With our belt, you know, max life, resistances, that's basically what we're going for there. On your boots, you want movement speed. This is where this build could get a little bit quicker. If you could get 30 or 35% increased movement speed, it'd be even better. Evasion, max life, dexterity, resistances. Again, same things over and over again, right? Excuse me. The only runes you're going to want to put in are going to be on your crossbow, like specific wise, because we want the physical damage, right? So you want the greater iron runes to get more physical damage. It's, you know, just going to raise your damage, make you hit harder, even better. Everything else, you can kind of piece it together, right? If you're really high on lightning resistance and you need more fire, put fire in there, or vice, you know, whatever it is, whatever resistances that you need, go ahead and put those greater runes in there to get those resistances. If you have really good resistances on all your gear and you don't really need you know, too many runes, maybe you only need a few runes, 2 or 3, then go ahead and put like all the armor, evasion, and there's another rune out there, I can't think of it right now, but it basically increases your evasion rating. So you can throw those in there, and that'll help with your survivability. Now for the skill tree, this is, you know, a quick breeze over of where it's at, and you know, we'll go over it real quick. So what you're looking for are your damages, right? You want to get crit hit, crit damages, if you can get them, crit damage bonus, lightning, movement speed. You know, you want to get all of those things. Those are going to be your biggest ones that you're going for. You know, in your ascendancy, we got accuracy, you know, crit hit chance. Like I said, crit hit chance, crit hit damage bonuses we're going for all the time. The lightning damages, your evasion, speed, things like that. More accuracy is going to help you do more damage, physical damage. You know, open weaknesses. This is great. So when you get into those weakness zones on the boss, it helps you finish off the bosses so much faster, and even the rares. You know, it just helps a ton. Skill speed, life leech, and more life leech, right? Just helping with our survivability. You know, as we're working our way down here, again, we're looking for attack damages. I did come this way to get more evasion, and this is kind of where I was saying, you know, maybe you could take away from some of your damage nodes and stuff like that and go more towards like the evasions. to help with some of that squishiness, right? So you could always pull some of these damage nodes away, maybe even some of like these shocks. I'd be careful with the shocks. We do want a lot of shock in the build. You know, we're kind of coming up here too to get some of that shock and some of those damages and the elements and everything. But if you're feeling like it's too soft and you just can't survive, then maybe pull away from those areas and start going towards the evasion. And you'll see the damage. You're doing so much damage, like you delete everything, so you could take away from some damage to help, you know, with your survivability if you need to. I'm just trying to pinpoint anything really that would be outside of that. You know, over here is where you're coming for your crit damages and your crit chances and everything like that. You definitely want your herald damages. It helps you out so much with your Herald of Thunder. It helps it just delete everything else as well. When it's raining down the lightning and everything, it's great. Again, more of your lightning damages and penetrating resistances and everything like that is basically what you're coming for here. Outside of that, you will have to, well, I was talking about where you have to play with your nodes. I have pretty much everything set to strength to help raise my life, you know, to help with that survivability. As you're progressing, you may have to switch out some of these for dexterity just to meet the requirements for your gear. So you'll have to kind of play with that. But as far as like our jewels are concerned, though, I'm really going for like shock durations, ailments, magnitude of the ailments. Again, same thing, shock durations, ailments. Unfortunately, this one has companions. You know, that's not great, but it's okay. And then same thing, right? So shock duration, damage with crossbows, lightning damage, things like that. That's what you're going to want to put in these jewel slots as you move along. So now what we'll do, I have a T15 map pulled up here, and we'll just kind of run through it real quick to show you basically, you know, how this works. You know, it's pretty simple. You're just gonna come in here. Anything that gets in your way, you're gonna delete with your Galvanic Shards. And you can see, I mean, even the rares, you know, you don't even really have to think about them either. Now, one thing I will mention, this one has the Bone Tyrant, so he does have that slam attack. That slam attack is one of those attacks that you'll feel squishy because it hits you once and you're done. So you definitely want to be careful there. And we'll see when we get up there. Maybe he'll hit me and you'll really see it. Maybe he'll delete me, right? Just keep plugging away. Just run around. Yeah, this is a pretty easy map. Now we just got to run around and find him here somewhere. Here we go. So he does these slam attacks, and that's kind of what I'm saying you might have to look out for. I mean, if he hits me with one, we'll see if it kills me. But and here's where you'll slap him with Voltaic Mark, right? And then you shock him. Oh, I survived it. And then you switch to your Shockburst, and that's it. Literally, Voltaic Mark, Shockburst, or Voltaic Mark, Galvanic Shards, Shockburst, and it deleted them. I didn't even have to reload, right? It took me 2 shots and 18. I mean, so that's the build, guys. You know, let me know if you have any questions or if you want me to break down anything for you more. You know, like, comment, subscribe. That really helps me a lot. I do stream on Twitch and YouTube every single day at 9 Central Standard Time. I'd appreciate if you guys came out and supported me. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching and have a great day. I'll see you all later.